Welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast with Jacob Ayers, providing actionable content to help you along your journey to financial freedom through real estate investing. As the premier asset class, real estate has helped ordinary people just like you amass fortunes. The benefits of passive income from real estate investing will allow you to live a life you want. And now your host, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and apartment deal syndicator, Jacob Ayers.
Hi, and welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Ayers. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Friday Fundamentals. Well, hey, I really hope you're getting value from these shows. I want to take a second and congratulate you, the listener, for taking all the time out of your busy schedule to listen to this podcast and educate yourself. You're well on track to achieving your goals, so keep after it. Just once again, thanks so much for tuning in and listening. I know you are not here for me, though. You're here for you, so that's where I'd like to keep the focus of this show. Well, today's Friday Fundamental is a bit unique, and it's more around a productivity hack called time blocking. Well, you see, time is our only non-renewable resource. We don't have limits when it comes to health, wealth, happiness, fulfillment, etc. Time, however, is limited. No matter how you spend it, there are only 24 hours in the day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So how do some people seem to accomplish so much more in the same 24 hours? Well, we're going to dive into that, but first, let's take a look at how people operate. Have you ever noticed what most people's default answer is when you ask them how they've been or how things have been going, or any kind of generic small talk opening line like that? Well, most people reply with something nondescriptive like, "I'm good," or even, "I'm great." One response you'll hear more often than others, though, is busy. Yes, everyone feels busy. Everyone is busy. In today's world, we have so many things vying for our attention. Some important and others not so worthy of said attention. We're constantly inundated with news, politics, social media, emails, mail, advertisements, all kinds of things. So with so much going on, it can be hard to determine what to focus on and what not to. But one thing is certain. People are busy. And even if we're not, we still make ourselves believe we are busy. Busy has become this badge we wear with honor. But are we as busy as we think? Think to a time when you thought, "I would like to insert whatever here, but I just don't have time to." Then you proceed to spend hours of screen time on your phone and TV and doing other things that don't merit the time you're devoting to them. How does Elon Musk run 3 companies with goals like inhabiting Mars, making space travel viable, building electric cars, and making solar power the main energy source on Earth? Meanwhile, you're trying to get 8 hours of sleep and simply work out 3 times a week, but you can't seem to manage even that. How is this possible? What are you doing wrong? Time just seems to slip away from you. Don't let it do that. Rather, guard your time. Protect it. Don't let it slip away or get consumed with actions that don't put you closer to your goals. How, you might ask? Simple. Time blocking. Yes, the solution is time blocking. Time blocking, as defined by WikiHow, is a type of scheduling that can help you manage your time better. Instead of working by the clock, you can focus on finishing big and small tasks one at a time. And this will help you limit distractions, get things done faster, and leave you less overwhelmed by lengthy to-do lists. One of the underlying principles of time blocking is setting aside time to do the important things first, rather than letting your day fill up with tasks as they get thrown at you. Let's look at 5 ways you can start time blocking yourself. 1. Identify which tasks you should start time blocking first. Now, many have heard the Pareto principle, more commonly referred to as the 80-20 rule. This principle says that 20% of your actions are responsible for 80% of your results. So start your time blocking calendar with adding these 20% actions. It might take you some time to identify what exactly those are, but you'll probably have a pretty good idea to start with. Next, determine how you are going to manage your calendar, either physical or electronic. Each have their advantages and disadvantages. There's no one better option, just use the one that works for you and that you'll actually use. For electronic calendars, there are Google Calendars, Microsoft Outlook, and Calendar on Mac are all good and free options. Step 3. Create start and stop times for your day. Determine what time you are going to start your day and what you need to accomplish first. Do the same for your evening when you are wrapping up your day. This will set parameters for your day, making sure you give yourself time to sleep, which needs its own time block alone. And then step 4, schedule the first task on your calendar. Set aside a certain amount of time to accomplish this task, uninterrupted by emails, texts, etc. Sit down and accomplish that task in the time you set aside. Don't worry if you go over or under the time you scheduled. You can start to tweak your calendar as you go through this process. And lastly, set recurring time blocks for things you need to do every day. From morning routines to exercise, following up with business leads, etc. There are things we have to do every day. Set those in stone in your calendar. Use them as your anchor points. Once you have all of your important tasks scheduled on your calendar, then you can start to fill up that white space with other things. Been putting off that one thing forever? Don't worry, just put it on your calendar where you can fit it and then tackle that task. By implementing a time blocking method to your life, you'll begin to see it doesn't do what you think it might. Many people might think this sounds very type A and strict. They fear their calendar will control them and they won't have time to do the things they want. Rather, the opposite is true. You'll find you have more time to do the things you want because you haven't wasted time putting things off you need to do. You may find time to pick up a new hobby or devote some time to the areas of your life you've been neglecting. The overlying principle of time blocking is being intentional and purposeful with how you spend your most valuable resource. As long as you're doing things on your own terms, then you can at least feel in control. No more being pinballed around by the constant barrage of things coming your way. Implementing this simple time blocking strategy will give you back the time you've been missing. Well, all too often we trick ourselves at best and lie to ourselves at worst by saying, I don't have time for that. This isn't exactly true. You have time for anything you want. The question is, what are you making time for? Your time is your most precious resource, yet one that is wasted the most. Guard your time, spend it on your own terms, and do the things that are important to you. If you'll do these things, you'll find you have so much more time to find new challenges, experience new things, and ultimately live the life you want. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of Friday Fundamentals. Hey, I hope you're getting value from these podcasts. I really love delivering these, and I hope you enjoy listening to them. If you like what you've heard, please go over and leave a rating and review on whichever platform you're listening on. Well, if you'd like to see what my time blocking calendar looks like, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be glad to share it with you. You can contact me at www.jacobayers.com/contact. Till next week, engineer the lifestyle you want.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, providing you actionable content to build your real estate empire. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for personal advice. The opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. all investment strategies have a potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom, LLC exclusively.